This into your life. We are blessed because of it. So if you're able, grab pen and paper, grab some water, grab a pen, a crayon, a marker, whatever's needed.
Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Wake up, everybody. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. It's time to get up. We're healing, we're dealing, we're growing. Together, together, releasing. We're teaching, we're moving. Together, together, we're learning, discerning. We're striving. Together, together, we're leading, connecting, transforming. Together, together.
All right, all right. We're healing, transforming, ascending together. And here we are at day 303 for the Wake Up Everybody virtual community. I am so elated to be with all of you. I invite you to invite others into the space so that we might grow and co-create inside of the conversation about Rite, R-I-T-E, Rite, W-R-I-T-E, and Right, R-I-G-H-T. So, as I shared before some of you landed in the space, this is a session that I have done before. I actually did the session before in 30 minutes, but really it went over 30 minutes. We'll see what happens today. My intention is to be succinct and be clear because I'm excited about this conversation, and it can be powerful. It can be, uh, laser sharp because we create that intention. So remember to invite those who are supposed to be in this space with us because they declare that they're part of this community. So if you see someone is missing, text them and invite them in because we want to make sure there are as many people as possible in this discussion today. And greetings to Facebook. Once again, grab pen and paper and water if you can. So, right. Yeah, we're about to talk about the powerful experience of ritual in the form of writing, ritual that engages us in the possibility of creating integrity and balance in our lives. And so I have some questions for you. So when you think about the evolution of man, and when I say man, I mean, humanity. When you think about the times when we were hunters and gatherers, when we were trying to fight for our survival, how did we make ourselves known so that in this present time we have an understanding and understanding of what happened way back then, even though it was thousands or I don't know how many years ago, but years and years and years and years, eons ago? How do we make ourselves known? So put in the chat if you have any clue what I am making reference to as far as us making sure that we have connection to back then, and that they made sure that they had connection, even though they weren't thinking about that. They made sure that there was a connection to the future, even though it wasn't intentional. So who has shares about this? And I would love to hear somebody's voice. Let's take a guess. There's no yes. Thank you, Kathy. But I would love to hear from others because Kathy and I actually had a conversation about this. So it's not fair, Kathy, that you answered first because I was going what I was going to say. So Kay, thank you, Darlene. Writing, in what way, Afriye? What kind of writing? Oral tradition, ashe, ashe. So I would love to hear from uh let's see, Darlene, around oral traditions. If you can come off mute and just share about that, that would be very helpful to the continuation of the conversation. Admin, can you help her out?
Darlene DeFore?
Yes.
Yes, I asked her to unmute.
All right. And I'm not sure if she's in the
I
space.
had stepped away for a minute.
All right, you were working quick, fast, and in a hurry. You typed and you was walking around. I love.
Because I have these headphones that I bought, which allows
Oh,
me some freedom.
Ashe. Yep, yep.
Yeah, because people used to pass stories, and through those stories, lessons in those stories.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think about some things in my own family that are lost because I didn't ask and some questions where like elders had certain knowledge
Yes.
that sometimes in sitting around and talking, they would let those who are under them hear about those stories, and then they pass it on to the next folks.
Beautiful.
And there's some stuff going on recently that I realized I didn't ask the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
So as a result, that knowledge is gone since all the elders are now have made their transition.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. So we miss the opportunity sometimes to continue to teach the ones that are coming after us, to have those traditions continue to be manifested, whether it's movement or stories that were being told or foods that were being cooked, or just any types of traditions that families create. And I thank you for acknowledging the fact that because that wasn't intentionally done, that there's a missing inside of your family because these things weren't captured and kept somewhere as artifacts, as etchings, writings. Like these are the things that folks that were part of our development, our how we landed here is because they took the time to etch in the caves, to create hieroglyphics, to leave remnants of themselves, and not just their bones, because that wasn't done intentionally, but burial rites are captured and reviewed because folks took time to add artifacts to the burial site, wrap folks who have transitioned in certain garbs, leaving herbs inside of the sarcophagus. I don't know if that's the right word, but for you folks who are into archaeology and those things, you can. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. We got the scholar up in here because those things were left behind. They tell a story. So I would like for you to ponder in the time that we have together. And this is something to think about. And like I said, we don't need a whole lot of time to unpack this, but it's a consideration for the future. I invite you to take a moment to write the following. What would someone discover if you transitioned today? Or you don't even have to transition, like that might be viewed as morbid, but if you left your home and somebody wandered into your space, you left the door unlocked and they came into your space, what would be there in the form of writings, in the form of remnants of ritual that would actually tell the story of who you are? What is present in your dwelling, in your space, that speaks of you and your clan? So you can speak of both things. How would they know about who you were? How would they know? And I'm asking you to write this in your journal if you're able to take a moment to really think about it. Like not so many quick answers, but like if they literally came and walked into my living room, this is what they would see. And by seeing that art or the furnishings, what would, because Jacqueline put that into the chat, what would they see and discover? And what story would they make up about you? What indications about your beingness would be present in that space that would have them walk away and say, I get this person? What might they misunderstand? What might they misinterpret about you and your life and your beingness based on what is found in your space? This topic today is Rite, R-I-T-E, Rite, W-R-I-T-E, and Rite, R-I-G-H-T. Would they get it right if They assessed based on everything that is in your space. If they surveyed that space, would they have a deep understanding and understanding of who you are? So I'm going to give a minute for you to write that. And Facebook, I invite you to do the same and put into the thread what it is that they might discover. Maybe, you've never thought about this. Some of us hoard so many different things, types of things, that if somebody came into the space, they would be overwhelmed, and it would be hard for them to figure out like who you are, because you have so much stuff. Or maybe because you have so much stuff, it would be easy for them to figure out who you are, because the stuff that you have, there are thematic pieces that are present in those belongings that you have in the space. So what would they discover? And I want to talk to someone, but while we wait for the last 30 seconds or so for you to write, if someone came into my house right now, they would know that I honor the ancestors. They would see pictures of loved ones on an altar in my space. I have 2 altars in my house. They would see pictures, and maybe they wouldn't know it was ancestors, but they would know that there were significant people in my life, so much so that I set it up in a specific way with specific artifacts. I have a clump of feathers that I got as a gift from a friend many years ago, that I have as a representation of air. I have burning candles. My candles burn continuously. When they're about to go out, I put it back on. So they would come in and discover fire burning in my house. And right now, there are 4 candles burning in my house. They would discover a goon stick or a staff, and they wouldn't be able to name it per se, but they would see this stick, this thick stick, decorated with colors, red and yellow and white, and it has feathers around it, and it has fabric hanging from it, and there are different colors to the fabric. They may not know what it was, but they would say she was into some type of cultural and ritual stuff. They would see a picture of Martin Luther King in the space, and people who are Black and brown that look like me. But when it comes down to writing, they would also have loads of journals with me chronicling my life, with dates at the top, and who I was talking to, at what time I was talking to them, what we talked about. I have one-on-one sessions. I have couples counseling. I have group sessions and team meetings that I have. I design trainings. If they just, not my laptop or my phone, if they just looked around in my house, they would find remnants of who I am for the world. They would know that I was a leader and that I was engaged every day, all day in these activities. So I would love to hear from someone. Kinyofu, if you could help me out. I don't know, Charmaine, if there's anybody on Facebook who has said anything in the space, you usually drop that in. So Abimbola, if you could unmute and share, that would be great. I see your hand raised.
Since if someone come into my house, they know that I am a lover of African art, African artifacts, African lifestyle. And they know that I'm a lover of plants. I have a plant nook where there's nothing but plants in this little area. And everything, all kinds of, I've traveled to Africa many times. So I have statues, I have masks, you name it, it's Africa. So they know that I'm a lover of my culture and my tradition. And then I have walls of pictures of my family, my daughter, my grands, my sisters. And then I have a sisters wall where all my sisters are on the wall that I've interacted with for a period of time. So they would know that I'm a lover of people, lover of culture, and just a person that loves life.
And I see you shining and smiling. I see the mask behind you.
Yes, that's me.
So beautiful. So
Right.
we're not invited to talk about this. Like, we're not invited to talk about the remnants of us. Like, if we're gone from this space, what would we want people to say about us that never had the opportunity to encounter us? So when you think about the future, 1,000 years from now, if somebody was digging up whatever space you live in, where are you residing, Abimbola?
In Jonesboro, Georgia.
Awesome. So if
Yeah,
they were
but
in
I'm from
Jonesboro,
Brooklyn, New York.
yes. Would they know that you were from Brooklyn as well? If they dug up the remnants of you in Jonesboro, would there be a remnant or a presence of Brooklyn in those artifacts that are in your space?
No, not really.
And what is
Not,
that about?
but I do have I have a very extensive collection of genealogy.
Beautiful.
So I have done my family ancestry. So I have a very large book on my family history and stuff like that. So and the sister, I can't remember who she was. Oh no, that wasn't this. This was another one, but another series where this lady said, "Write your story." So recently, I had a sister in Brooklyn go and take a picture of where I was born, the house I was raised in, and I'm getting ready to do that and put pictures of where I was brought up and then write my story about where I reigned from in Brooklyn, New York. So
Ashe.
yeah, so
That's beautiful, powerful stuff. And what do you want to be known for? Just in one sentence. I heard you say that if they came and they would see that you're a lover of African culture and art, what do you want to be known for?
service, a person that's to serve,
Yes,
serve others.
yes.
Yes.
So
So
in your space, I'll ask this last question and then we'll hear or have Kinyofu read some of the chat sharing that folks have done and then also the Facebook shares. But service. So in your space right now, is there a manifestation or a remnant of service present? Would I know that you served based on what I see in your space?
hmm, good question. I don't know how to display that. I don't know how that would be displayed.
Well, remember what I shared about myself. They would find in my writings, there would be a demonstration of my service because I write it every day. When I have a one on one, if you and I scheduled a time to meet and I have it in my calendar, I write notes in the session, during the sessions, and I put your name and I, write the thematic things that we talked about and what I asked you, questions that I asked you, and what your responses would be. So not only would they know me and that I served you, they would know you as well. And they would know, like, oh, this person she spoke to was committed to relationship, or this person that she spoke to was committed to manifesting wealth. Like, whatever those remnants are in the journals that I
mm,
have, they would discover not just about me, but my people, my tribe, and you're part of my tribe. So I invite you to start thinking about demonstrations of service, ways
okay.
that you engage in ritual that creates the space for you to be known beyond this life. Not because you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to, not because you're attached to that, but because it's a contribution that your
Mm,
planet actually shifted the configuration of the world. Every single being on the planet contributes new energy and ways of being. So there's 7 billion or so people, you're one of them. And if you weren't here, the world wouldn't be the same. So thank you for sharing with me, beloved. And thank you
okay.
for the masks and the culture and your beautiful beingness with us. So
You're welcome.
before we go to Wendy, who has her hand up, can you read some of the shares in the chat?
Sure.
Thank you.
Cassidy says vision boards, crystals, altars, pictures, art, plants, toys, kit items, herbs. And Jem from Facebook says pictures, essential oils, tuning forks, flowers, candles, books. Laura says books of writings of my life, herbs, research on health issues, pictures of my family, pictures of awards that I haven't placed on my wall, containers of herbs and teas, big pots and pans.
I love it. Go ahead.
Charmaine says, if someone came into this, okay, she's writing the question.
Okay. What about Denise Hill? I see a share there. And Kimberly Osler. I can read.
Okay, so I'm getting there. Do you want
Okay.
me to jump over?
Oh no, I'm just going by what I see. Let me follow your lead.
Okay. So where was I? Facebook. Kimberly says from Facebook, they would know that I like colors. I love to travel. I love my family. I'm organized. I have kids due to writing on the wall. I painted and dance. I am from Trinidad. Terry says, I have a collection of thank you notes from people I have helped in some way. Denise Hill says, having just come from a funeral yesterday, we discussed obituaries. I actually collect them, as well as every card I've received. I collect Black art, many family photos, cooking, and entertainment utensils. I'm Big Mama. I love to embrace the community and host them in my home. My Black book collection is vast. I have a love for reading and us, my love for God, my altar in my living room. And Cynthia from Facebook, and it's a couple of more, Shawnee.
Yeah.
Cynthia from Facebook says, around my room and living space, altars, ancestral offerings, a ballet bar, herbs, oils, statues of lovers. Should I continue?
One more, if you would.
Okay. Uh, Kathy says, I've volunteered in many spaces, and that would not be known if someone walks into my space. They would know that I am a spiritual person that believes that there are many paths to the one by the books that are in my space.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all the shares. I'm really stirred up around this, that engaging in this conversation, because it was mentioned that that someone gathers and holds obituaries that I've been part of. I've spoken at funerals or homegoing services, as I call them. And it's been hard for the folks to gather the information about the person who has passed on because they didn't leave enough remnants about their lives. They didn't talk about where they went to high school or elementary school, the things that they loved. Secrets were even kept. Or folks discovered later that this person had other children or lived a particular way. And so this is a gift that we give to people when we leave remnants of ourselves behind. Somebody out there, and maybe in this space right now, feels like they didn't get enough of the remnants from family and from on in their clan for them to really know who they are, and it's paining them. I don't know who that is, but you feel like not enough stories were told, there's gaps left, and you are really really upset about that because folks kept everything so tight that you didn't get an opportunity to know them so that you can know yourself. So if you're a person that does not have access to the writings on the wall, right? That term, the handwriting on the wall, is the thing that you see that tells you exactly what there is to know. And some of us don't have enough of those handwritings on the wall to really have others know us, or to know our tribe, and to know our own personal journeys and what makes us who we are. So Wendy had her hand up, and I would like to move to her if we could, just to hear from her and what she has to say about this subject matter.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, when you first spoke about things left behind, I thought of hieroglyphics from the Egyptian culture. But anyway, what someone would discover about me in my home, they would know that I definitely love to sew and to cook, because I have sewing machine, loads of patterns, fabric, and in the kitchen there's recipe books galore, some I've never even used yet. Kitchen gadgets, I'm a gadget queen. I love gadgets, anything to help, prepare food. But what I discovered from this question is that a lot of what my traces is on social media. So I realize that now there's a need for me to do more
Posting.
documenting, so that people don't necessarily have to access my social media page. I've become so techno savvy, so it's my Instagram page and my Facebook page, all the pictures of clothes that I've made and food that I've prepared. It's all on social media. My grandson, who I love to death, all the pictures I have of him is on social media. So this has made me aware that I need to do more documenting in the physical. They would also know that I love plants and I love interior decorating, and that my favorite color, a range of turquoise or teal, colors that remind me of the Caribbean. They know that I love the seaside. They definitely know I'm from the Caribbean because I love bright colors and pictures of beaches and seashells and all that, beachy things they would find. Um, so that's it. Oh, self-improvement books,
Yeah.
because I've struggled with self-discovery for most of my life, and I would always resort to buying books that I feel will help me. So they'd find a lot of that too.
Thank
And
you.
I am complete.
Powerful share. And I love that the exercise had you get present to, thank you, Kinyofu. Just acknowledging the time is 7:28. So just want to acknowledge you for that deep excavation of what not only is present, but what's not present. So that's where I'm going next. And I just ask that y'all bear with me for 15 more, not bear with me, that's extra, but just be with me for 15 extra minutes. So what is not present that would tell the story about you too? What is present and what is not present? So I want y'all to really get connected to the truth of the matter around you. One thing that folks would discover about me is that the kitchen and I are not close friends. Like you wouldn't see remnants of, like you wouldn't find recipes or a lot of seasoning in my house. If you open my refrigerator now, there's some like packaged food, stuff that I eat that is like plant-based, but it's not a lot of it. My refrigerator below, like the refrigerator, not the freezer, is bare. I think I have some almond milk and some eggs, like the basic staples. But there are no flourishes and fanciness around Shawnee Renee Benton Gibson in food. It's not my thing. So you would discover that somebody was like big pots and pans. I'm like, mm-mm, no big pots and pans over this way. Like it's here because it might be needed. It's just not me. So they would know that this chick did not cook, that she was not domestic, but they would know how busy I am. So I'm gonna want to ask you, what would they see that is not present in your space that would give them an indication of the rights? Like one of my rituals or rituals that I have are mostly not around food. There are things for exercise in my house. Lots of books, loads of books, around cultural things, around healing and, just expansion of the mind, body, and spirit. A lot of books around Blackness and anti-racism. So they would know that I was an activist and an advocate. They would also know that I'm not in a relationship. If they came right now, that I'm not in an intimate partnership, that I have children, but there is no man in my life right now. They would find it if they look through pictures like that are packed away, but there wouldn't be an indication that that's present on shelves or it's just me and my children in the space. So what would they discover that you're not doing or you're not being as a result of what's in your space? Also, I'm going to challenge the people who hoard in this space to really out yourself. We've had folks in the space before talk about how they gather and collect things. And I'm like, through your collections of stuff and how it's organized or disorganized in your house, what would they say about you? What would be their writings about you if they had to chronicle you and put it down on paper? And once again, you can get indications of rituals that one engages in as a result of just checking out your space. Like I said, there's right now candles burning, incense burning. I have sage, I have Palo Santo, I have live flowers in my house. I have, a whole setup and 2 altar spaces in my house. So they would know that about me. So what would they say? Oh, she or he did not do this. They were not into this. This was not a part of their lives. So I would love to hear from someone. I see Purple posted. So Purple, if you're willing to share, I would love to hear your voice.
Hey, good morning, community.
Morning.
Wow, I love this exercise. Thank you. I love my home. I'm a declutterer. And so I'm so intentional about my space, but decorating it and making sure my space serves me. And so what I shared was really revealing. I have mirrors, and I have mirrors set up in a way that, yes, I can see myself and others can see themselves as they travel. But I also have mirrors so that wherever you're sitting, you can see a view of the beautiful different angles and different things, different art, or you can see that outdoor view. And I think that's very interesting because I have so many relationships and engage with people, but I have no photos of myself. I have no photos of anyone. There's no photos up. There's
Mm.
artwork, but there's no
What is that
photos.
about? What
What
is
you say?
to
Well, that's what I wondered. Years ago, I noticed my parents had photos of a lot of people, different family members, my siblings even, or my siblings' children, but there's no photos of me.
Mm.
So I realized, like, wait, did I take on that same pattern? Just now when I realized I have no photos of myself, and I'm like, oh my goodness. I don't know. The thing I wrote was, you don't see my joy in my journey. You don't see that I'm a world traveler. You don't see that I know so many people and so many people know me. But I think it's like, really, do people know me?
Ashe.
You know, do I really share? Shout out to the brother DMX. I was telling my friend about the time I spent with DMX. She was like, what? And I'm like, I really don't share my life
Mm.
with others. The way that my life is made up of relationship with others.
Yeah.
I'm very clear. That's what the most prominent thing on my journey has been. So I think it speaks to the heaviness around my relationship with people and relating to people,
Mhm.
my introvertedness,
Yeah. And
you know.
there's the right, that is RIGHT. And my question is, now that you know what you know, and you've known it, like now that we're in this conversation and you're like getting clearer or more grounded in what is happening and what others would see and what you see, what can make this right for you? What is something that you can do so that this can be righted in your life?
Um, I think put up photos,
Yeah.
you
And
know,
play with me a
be
little bit. I love your mind, Purple, because it's like this huge playground. And so if you could design a photo right now of you doing something that absolutely shows the essence of you, and if I landed in your space and you were still alive but not there, or you were gone, and folks got a chance to like move through your space and pack your stuff, what's a picture that you would want to have front and center of you doing something or being something that you would want them to be
Mm.
like, wow.
I think performing. I believe there's a photo of me in white rapping in front of the Nile River.
Got that. Wow. Do you have a mic or you just freestyling and letting the wind carry your voice?
I think I have a mic. I think I
Okay.
can find that photo. I think that photo exists.
Oh, you're saying a real life photo. I
Oh
was
yeah, that's the real life photo.
okay. So I was like,
um,
go with me, play with me, craft a photo, like make it up in your imagination, but you already have one that you can play.
oh no, yeah. I'm really, I think I would do a collage. I don't think I would do one photo.
Got that.
I mean, what challenges me is saying that the collage can be about me performing and being on sacred grounds all over the world, right? That would be the collage. But that doesn't show me with people.
Got that.
That's my conflict, is that how can I show me and how can I show me with others? And so maybe it's not about showing me perform, but I think that's what got me around the world.
Yeah.
That's what created my relationships. And I need to own the visibility around that, my
Yeah.
story around my what I love and how I served through my gift.
Ashe. So I'm going to ask you to take this, and I'm inviting the entire community to take this on. And I'm like getting moved by it because I'm thinking about my own life. Um, what is something that you know that would be written in your obituary if someone just had to go by your space and what they see and don't see? What is something that would have to be righted because they misunderstood? And I'm saying RIGHTED. I'm making that up, right? Righted. What is something that, they would misunderstand? I'm going to give you an example so that you can be clear.
Yeah.
So what I would have to write is true right now, though, that she worked so much and there wasn't a lot of play.
Mm.
There's not no pictures of her frolicking in the ocean waters. Um, there's no stuff to play with in her house. Like adults have things to play with, like games. And I'm not that chick for my family. I show up and I'll play the hell out of a game, but I'm not going to buy them. I don't invite people over to my space to engage in social activities. They don't even ask me. And if they wrote that down in my obituary, they were like, she who did not do fat family gatherings in her space. She who never invited us over for
Yep,
food,
that's me.
right? And that's something that I would like, not that I want to take that on because I don't want to be inauthentic, but I do want to be known for play. I do want to be known as a space of pleasure, but I engage in a lot. They'll talk about how I inspire them with words and always engaging in these transformational spaces. But Shawnee is not known for play. And Purple, I love to laugh. I'm the most competitive. I love frolicking, but I don't do it because I'm like, oh, this is important. And if they wrote the obituary right now and they wrote what I did not do, they were like, she did not fully enjoy her life by engaging in play.
Mm.
So what is something that you want to be righted based on what's not present in your life, glaringly based on the space that you're in right now?
Thank you. Thank you for the example because that helped me find it or hear it. Fun. I don't think people know how much fun I am. People associate me as very serious. I understand why. I'm fun. And it's funny because to me, my home, I wonder if people can see that in my home with the colors, the toys, the games. There's just not people to have fun with. But I am a very, very fun and silly person. I think people would see I'm vibrant, but I don't think they know I'm fun.
Yeah.
And I
Wow.
love having fun. And I used to love having fun with others.
Ashe. You used to what happened?
Um, you know, being the performing artist that I was, though I didn't accept the music industry route, it still created a different kind of scheduling.
Mhm.
And I didn't live the lifestyle that most of my peers did, more traditional 9 to 5, weekends off. So my work schedules, my performance schedules, how I prioritize, I didn't nourish my relationships.
Got
I'll
that.
say that. Yeah, just to be responsible and straight up. I didn't nourish my relationships as I grew. I was taking care of the community and not my friendships and family relationships.
Got it. And really, when you take the full trip, it's not taking care of yourself too.
I didn't take care of myself. And I think that's what that's what me not being, it's like I don't love myself and I don't love people is what you would see.
Ashe. Yes. So this is what Spirit gave, and then I'm going to speak to Teresa. And I thank you, Purple, for just being
Mhm.
being
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you.
So what just came through to me, and if you know me and if you've been part of programs that I do, especially for women, like trees are a thing for me, right? And shoot, now I'm thinking about, yeah, they are definitely remnants. Like I'm looking above and I have a woman with a whole tree coming out of her head that's on my closet right here. I have necklaces of trees and, just different things that would be indicating that I love that as a symbol, a powerful symbol. But what came up for me is the rings on a tree. And what happens is, and it actually exists for like the ice too, like in the, what is it called? Like the North Pole, they can tell like what's happening with the ecosystem, like the global warming piece based on the ice. And when there were devastating events that like cataclysmic events that impacted, they can tell by just those remnants. We're talking about remnants, right? That have been left behind. So if you were a tree, trees have those rings. And I was just looking at this the other day, like the rings tell you about the tree's life, right? So, if you were a tree, what would your rings what would the rings tell about your life? Purple was talking about when there was a time when she was more free and engaged and involved, and then something happened. Like if the rings were like if they cut us open and there were rings in there would be a time that they would pinpoint. and say that during this period, this year, something cataclysmic happened that had purple or had me stop engaging in intimate partnership. Like we think it happened around 19 da da da. We think it happened around 2012. So what are those ring moments that have been the blockers and the stoppers of your natural and organic flow in your life? And once again, if you keep it going and flowing, what will be written in your obituary about who, what would they misinterpret? Or what would they be spot on about? Because this is how you started showing up, you know? And so I damn sure don't want them to be saying at my funeral, like she spent the last 50 years of her life. Now I'm 52. The women in my family lived to be over 100, most of them. I don't want them to say that I lived the last 50 years of my life alone. It would never be cats because that wouldn't be me, but just doing work without intimate partnership. I want them to be able to say in my obituary, in the writings about me, that the latter part of her life, the last 50 years, half century, she had powerful partnership with Boo Boo Jew, whoever that is, right? Boo Boo Jew and her were together building a life. So that's what I desire. So as it relates to rights, RITES, what will you create so that this life and the etchings that are left behind, the remnants, are powerful and potent and memorable, that can be carried on, right? And what will you create, WRITE, the writings, or what will the writings end up being about you that will be a full demonstration of who you are? And what can you write right now, RIGHT, what needs to be righted so that you can actually manifest that in real time and space? The highest desires, how you want to be known. Human beings want to be known. Do you want to leave here having people make up a story about you? Or do you want to leave here having the full-fledged, full-blown, true, authentic story about you be present for all to hear and keep repeating as oral tradition in their lives way after you have left? I want my grandchildren's grandchildren's grandchildren to call my name and to declare that the choices that I made now actually created a life for them to live where there was generational wealth and there was a legacy left as far as spirit of a woman, and that wake up everybody is still going on. It's like, oh my God, this has been happening for 100 years, right? So that's what I desire. And with that aside, like, because people know that, that I do those things, I really want to be known in the latter part of my life as somebody who is fun, who travels, who giggles hard and laughs until she cries, who does silly things. I want the kids to know me as the fun grandma, great grandma, great great grandma. That's how I want to be known. I never want to dry up and just be in a space where they come here and find my body in the bed and nobody knew I was dead for 2 months. Right? I'm laughing about it, but it happens with people. So Teresa, I'll let you be the final sharer before we start to close out. Oh, and Kenyofu, you can also share some of the chat because I know that a lot of stuff has been shared and things on Facebook. So thank y'all, family. Keep writing about this, keep exploring this. But Teresa, if you have something to share, please do. Is she still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning, peace and blessing. The
Please.
thing that I wanted to say is that I do not enjoy the beauty of my home. One lady came the other day, as a matter of fact, and she said, my home is so beautiful, but because I'm a hoarder, I don't see it as beautiful. So I didn't see the beauty of my home. And so I need to work on getting rid of the stuff so I can enjoy it, because that's like the second or third person who's come to my home and said, your home feels good. I love your home. But I could not, I was like, what the hell are they talking about? There's so much junk in here. But I organized the junk so it won't look so bad. But it's just that I don't even appreciate having this beautiful home. So this is really a great question for me, because I don't have pictures up, and I don't have pictures up of any. I have pictures of like Martin Luther King, different things, old pictures that's been on my wall for years. I have pictures of a few trophies that I've gotten, but most of the stuff is just in containers hitting. there's nothing about, things that I've accomplished, things that I've done, I actually have like a picture of my granddaughter that she used to draw. I had that for years. She was like 6 years old, and she's 22 years old now, and I'm soon be a great grandmother. But I used to keep that up because it just reminded me of her. But
Yeah.
I don't even have pictures of my grandkids and stuff like that. So it's a lot of stuff that I don't have that is just making me think about, like Teresa, like, why don't you have these things?
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for your share and for your honesty. Before COVID, my house was just a pit stop. But now, being in my house for a year, I painted up front and I just shifted the energy. But before that, it was a pit stop. I would be out all day and I would just come here to sleep and then I would be gone again. And I told you I'm not domestic, so it would just be like dust and just different things. My home didn't match my heart. My home did not match my heart. So now because I'm here and it's just like, how do you want to be like in this space? If it's a 3 bedroom apartment, but it's we live in these boxes. It's like if I have to live in a box, I at least want to be comfortable in the space and I want to be around the colors and the energy that makes me feel enlivened. And so I just want to thank everyone. Kenyofu, if you can read a few of the commentary and then we can close out the session.
Okay, so I'm gonna start from the bottom and up.
All right.
Jacqueline says, I'll definitely consider framing the pictures and putting them up. They don't belong in the bin or in the shelf in the closet. Okay, oh, just some side comments. Okay. Charmaine from Dion from Facebook says, my rings would show I am resilient. They would say, like water, she found her source to joy.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder when that happened. Like the rings are indicators of life events, and you can track them to years. Like when did you discover that, Dion? Thank you for sharing. Go ahead, Kinyofu.
Okay. So Jacqueline says, yes, there will be some years of drought in my tree rings. There would be fat rings of fun, friends and lovers. There would be rings of dryness in the years that I was abused, followed by years of plenty, then followed by rings of struggle. Hopefully these rings will not be my epitaph.
Powerful. Who was that shared?
Jackie.
Thank you. I love that. That's writable, right? We're talking about writing, just like elaborating on that, like fat rings of joy. I love that. That's a title. Go ahead, Kinyofu.
Wendy says people would not know that I love competitive table games and have a playful, funny side and love to dance. Love isn't uppercase.
Yes.
Kathy says, I used to entertain all the time. My house was full all the time. When I got very sick, I shut down and closed people out, believing that people are not here for me. Now I barely let people into my space, which is very comfortable. People feel very comfortable if they are allowed to enter my space, as if they can relax and will be taken care of.
Powerful. Thank you.
Jacqueline says she has loads of games. She loves family, and that is what you will see in her home. Jennifer from Facebook says, I do not have my own space, and they would find a life missed or a life on hold. Terry says, I'm with you, Shawnee. No signs or play of pleasure. I am funny, but my immediate family glosses over this aspect of me and my personality, the focus on my ability to be responsible. So one-sided of who I am. And I think I've caught up.
Okay, beautiful. You know what I just got present to as well, and y'all probably know it in this space, but I'm an artist. That's a big part of my life. I'm a singer, a composer, an actor, a director, a playwright. That's a big part of who I am, and I'm a professional improvist, right? So I'm like, are there remnants of that in my house? I don't know. I used to have this big poster of when I did the one woman show. I played Billie Holiday. It was in my house and I got rid of it. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, there's a copy of the play that I wrote or co-wrote. Yeah, that's not. It's just not present in my space. I love art. like the performance art, and it's a big part of my life. It's like my heartbeat. But you wouldn't necessarily, if you didn't know me, you wouldn't know that. So thank y'all. Once again, more stuff is coming up and out of me, and I'm committed to writing this. Not as if anything is wrong, but just creating a space of integrity and alignment in my life in every way possible so that I can have the fullness of this life that I've been given. So I am complete, Kenyofu. I thank you and Charmaine for your partnership. I thank the community just for being phenomenal and for helping this conversation unfold differently than it did the first time I did this session. I am so beyond grateful. And because we did it this way and because of the messaging and the richness, I'm going to design something so that this conversation can happen again. I have so much going on, y'all. But this is something that I definitely want to do. And this whole piece around the rings in the tree, I thank the universe, I thank spirit for downloading that. Like, yeah, I'm going to keep unpacking this so that we can do a deeper work for sure. Thank you, Jacqueline. Workshop indeed. All right, so I'm ready to close out if my team is. So, as a creator, these are things that will be left. There will be lots of remnants of things that I've co-created or Spirit has downloaded in me. And this week, and it started yesterday, the 7-part series, virtual series, Speak, Move, Change, creating a new landscape for Black maternal health through advocacy and artistic expression, is happening. And we have session number 2 tonight, which is entitled His Voice. We will hear from my 16-year-old son, my daughter who passed away, Shamani's mate, Omari Maynard. We will hear from a brother named Kofi. I think his last name is Odin. He lost his sister 20 years ago to maternal mortality, and a sister named Shalon Irving who passed away. Her dad will speak about the loss, and it'll be moderated by someone who has been in the wake up space, which is Joshua Lee. And there will be performance art. You know, we have 3 awesome brothers who will be performing a dance piece. I won't give it away, but join us tonight and the rest of this week, and it's free. So please do register. Some of you registered already, and not everybody was in the space. You know, we register for things and we don't always come, but please do come. It was such a powerful experience yesterday being in the space and engaging in art as healing, engaging in conversation for us to transform the state of affairs. We all came by way of a womb. So we all need to be in a conversation about womb work and what's getting in the way of us having women give birth and survive and their babies too. So let's move forward. Here's the week's schedule. So once again, tonight, His Voice. Tomorrow, Race for Change. We're talking about racism and Black maternal health, like what's causing these near-death and death experiences. Then a paradigm shift. We're talking to midwives and doulas about their work in the world and how they catch babies, save mamas every day. Then we're talking about policy, because legislation, changing these systems, you have to be political. Activism and advocacy involves being just politically astute and aware. Then on Friday, we're talking about the global Black maternal health crisis. Women are dying across the planet. As I speak right now, there's a woman somewhere in Africa that's hemorrhaging and dying as I speak, because that's how bad it is. And then on Saturday, we will close out and with a call to action to the community to keep this conversation going and flowing. How you register is bit.ly. It's very easy. bit.ly/speak, move, change. bit.ly/speak, move, change. If admin can drop it in the chat, that would be very helpful. And I can move forward. Then for the women in the space, we are about to embark on something that we do every cycle of the Rites of Passage program that I'm blessed to lead, along with Kinyofu and Charmaine and other powerful leaders in this space. Some of the sisters in this space are graduates or are currently in the program. We do this every cycle, and it's called Partnering with Power, Creating Relationships That Work. Join us as we unpack a conversation about how to be powerful in our relationships, how to explore how we love on people and how we want to be loved, how to negotiate what gets in the way and blocks and stops us from being authentic, present, and aligned in our connections, intimate connections, family connections, friendships, all of that good stuff. And the sessions are happening on Sunday, and Monday. There's the same session, so you can pick one or the other. So please join us. Sunday is from 6 to 9. So you'll be with us for the entire session. It is our live session in the Be the Tree journey, because this is part of Be the Tree. And then Monday is from 6:30 to 9:30. So register once again. Very easy to do. And if we can drop this in the chat, bit.ly/so PP, which means partnering with power, in 17. Bit.ly/so SOWPP17. All right, we can move forward. Here's my contact information. By now, most of you know how to reach me, so please do save this, screenshot it, reach out if you need to. I always love to hear from you. Don't take it personally if I don't get right back to you, because there's always a whole bunch going on. I can literally get 100 text messages in a day, but don't let that stop you from communicating with me if you desire. If you want more information about the series or about partnering with power, please do email me, text me, inbox me, reach out, smoke signal, send a carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do. All right, we can move on. Thank you, Kinyofu. So tomorrow, our favorite brother in the house, John Carl Martin, will be talking about pain to artistry. And we will all be blessed as a result of that share. And then we also have Nija. This is Nija's first time. She is going to share the message, Bag Lady. Is that you? I am curious about that. I want to hear about the Bag Lady. I love this Bag Lady. All right, I want to hear about that. That's one of my favorite songs. So please do join us. Save the dates. We can move forward. So all of you who are new, or potentially rhyming, all of you who are new and are looking for continued breakthrough, right? Please come back and join us in this Woo space. If you're here for the first time, we always welcome new members of the family. Come be part of our Woo Nation. Join us on, from Sunday to Thursday. We always say in this space, do not hit it and quit it. Don't engage in one and done. Come back, come back, come back. You will only be blessed by it. So please do continue to connect with our family. And the schedule, how do we do that? So we Zoom live and then also live stream on Facebook every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday from 7 to 8:30. That's a 90-minute session. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays, we lead from 7 to 7:30. Today I went an hour. That was my choice. But Monday and Wednesdays are from 7 to 7:30. So we just thank all of you for continuing to show up every day. Stacy and Sharina, and I miss my Louise. I know she's recovering, and Jackie and Teresa, like all of these awesome wonders that keep showing up every day. And of course, the admin teams that are in here in the morning, and then also that manifest every piece of this process on the sidelines and behind the scenes. So thank you for that. So Woo Swag, purchase it, purchase it, purchase it. We can never have enough. We're going to continue to, promote this. There are other colors. We're going to, build out some other stuff, pins and, just journals. I love journals. I told y'all that's all up in my house. So we'll have the opportunity to expand our swag. But for right now, if you don't have a t-shirt, if you don't have a sweatshirt, if you don't have a mask, if you don't have a mug, please do purchase. And for those who won these items for the anniversary celebration on March 29th, please do reach out to me. Let me know the color that you want for your t-shirt, because you're going to get a t-shirt or a mug. So let me know what that is. Let's move forward. I want to thank you once again for just being dope, for being present, for co-creating this powerful conversation. I could not have done it without you. So thank you for everybody who shared. If you have not done so already, register this week for the sessions that are coming up, bit.ly/wake up movement. Facebook, join our Facebook page if you're new to the community. And some people are in the community, but not on our Facebook page. So you've been coming here week after week, please, or month after month, please register on our Facebook page so we can tag you and you can be part of the awesome conversations we have. So bit.ly/woo community, and then Instagram, wake up everybody. So Instagram at Wake Up Everybody Virtual, YouTube bit.ly/woo on YouTube, and then the email to send awesome emails. And I'm going to encourage you, if you know somebody who can be a great facilitator in this space, please do reach out, text me, call me, leave a message, email me at info.wakeupseries@gmail.com, or email the admin team and they'll get the information to me. Thank you. I'm complete.
Okay. So here we are at this moment when we can all give our shout outs to Shawnee. So I'm asking you all to unmute, and we're in gallery view. Thank you, Shawnee, for this wonderful session.
Thank you, Shawnee.
Thank you, Shawnee.
Shawnee.
Shawnee for this great
Thank
You
you.
have a
Amazing.
positive way
Thank
of coming
you.
in the
I
room,
love
giving me
it.
something to
We
meditate on
truly
throughout the day.
appreciate
Looking
you.
forward, everybody.
New
Shawnee,
members, I
you.
can't wait to
Thank
meet
you,
you.
Purple,
Love
for
you.
sharing so much.
Thanks
Thank
everyone for sharing. Great
Everyone
work,
that
everybody.
shared, I
you.
appreciate you.
We
Let's
love
move
you,
forward.
Shawnee.
Love you
Yes,
all. Love you, Jack.
In my home.
Love
Miss
y'all.
Lisa,
Love you all.
Thank
Wendy, and
you.
so many people that shared. I
thank
saw
you.
pieces of myself, and
God,
Love
thank
you,
really
Shawnee.
that. And so much was brought up
I
in
got
this
to
little
clean
tiny
my
moment.
house right away.
Waiting for the hour
Yes,
session
I
for
have an
the
assignment.
long workshop on this one.
Sharing your
Very,
gift with
very
us. Thank
impactful.
you.
So I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Thank you so much. I don't know what Teresa's singing, but I'm gonna have to be quiet so I can hear it.
Look at Shawnee. She's black and beautiful. Look at Shawnee. She's black and beautiful.
Uh-oh.
wasn't me. That wasn't me.
Love y'all.
Thank you so much. Have a